Hello and welcome to the programme.
Yeah, good evening. Here are the headlines in the northwest.
Resident doctors strike again, causing delays and cancellations for patients.
Desperate times at the Blackpool charity, which helps hundreds but needs urgent repairs to the roof of its counselling hub.
High stakes ahead of the Manchester derby in the Women's Super League. We hear from both title-chasing teams.
And the campaign to save the oldest cinema in Liverpool gets a boost. Find out how and why later in the programme.
Well, first tonight, the warnings that we all need to be using NHS services more thoughtfully during the latest period of industrial action by resident doctors, which started today.
Yeah, the 5-day walkout will have a significant impact on the health service, with staff already managing increased demand as winter hits.
Well, the last time resident doctors went on strike, thousands of procedures and appointments were cancelled. So what's being done to mitigate the disruption this time? Anne O'Connor has our top story tonight.
This 5-day action is the 13th walkout by doctors since March 2023. Their protest is twofold. Pay, they say, has fallen by a fifth since 2008, and there are not enough training places for specialist posts, leaving some unemployed or looking for work abroad.
We need to pay doctors what they're worth. Our pay has been eroded significantly since 2008, and what we're asking for is a first-year doctor who's paid £19 an hour to be paid just under £23 an hour. That's all we're asking for.
Well, you can see from the strength of feeling from our colleagues here, and it's just a shame that we're being driven back out here again, when all we want to do is be at work, in a workforce and an environment that fosters good health care.
If I see somebody and they've got an issue, I have to say, I'm going to refer you to this person. It's going to be an 18-month wait because there's just not enough doctors to see you faster. So I feel sad about the quality of the NHS that I'm giving to patients right now.
Resident doctors make up around half the NHS medical workforce. The Health Secretary has accused the Doctors' Union, the British Medical Association, of holding patients to ransom, saying there's been a 28.9% pay increase given to resident doctors over 3 years.
This government was showing we were different from our predecessors, that we recognise the pressures that many of these early career doctors were facing in their pockets, and they've had the highest pay rise in the public sector 2 years in a row. I don't regret that. What I do think is outrageous is that after that, the BMA have still gone out on strike action, inflicting pain and misery on patients and threatening to set back all the progress we've been making in the NHS.
NHS managers are trying to ensure the service can meet as much demand as possible, but asking all of us to use it wisely, given the upcoming flu season. It says there will be an impact on appointments, but it will try to only cancel when it's absolutely necessary.
If anyone is booked for an appointment over the next 5 days and they haven't heard from us, they should come in as planned, and our anticipation is that the clinic appointment or operation will go ahead as planned. If someone has an accident or an emergency, we are absolutely here for them, as we would be normally. For other issues, then we suggest dialing 111 for health advice, seeking advice from community pharmacies or walk-in centres, or of course general practice.
The action is due to end next Wednesday morning, with no sign of any negotiations to avert further strikes. Anne O'Connor, ITV News, Manchester.
Let's take a look at some more of the day's news now. And a cyber attack on Jaguar Land Rover cost it nearly £200 million, the company said. Production at its factories across the country, including in Halewood on Merseyside, stopped for 5 weeks in September. The car manufacturer said it's made strong progress in recovering its operations at pace since the attack.
3 homes have been damaged after a tree was blown over in Cheshire. The incident happened on Clark Lane in Bollington as Storm Claudia brought heavy rain and winds into the region. Fortunately, there are no reports of any injuries. A moderate weather warning remains in place for the rest of the day. James will have the forecast later in the programme.
Well, next tonight, and a teacher from Skelmersdale whose husband died just 3 weeks after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer is hoping a new breath test may save thousands of other families the pain of losing a loved one.
Yeah, Nicola Follin's husband Jeff was 58 when he died of pancreatic cancer in May last year.
Well, Nicola is supporting the launch of a national clinical trial into breath test, which could help doctors detect the disease early enough for it to be treated.
She's been speaking to our reporter, Andrew Fletcher.
Sharing memories of happy family holidays. On this trip to the Lake District, Jeff Follin was fit and well. 6 months later, after going to the doctor with indigestion and back pain, Jeff was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
We both just looked at each other because we knew very little about pancreatic cancer, but we did know it's a death sentence, really. As soon as you know that, it's too late. Once the symptoms are there, it's too late.
Nicola had to break the news to the couple's 3 teenage children that their dad was terminally ill.
I remember just Googling it, and then it came up with top 7 deadliest cancers, and I just sat in bed and I was like, oh. Well, it said like, I think it's 5% or something. It said a percentage of survival rate, and you believe it's going to be in that, you have a glimpse of hope that it will be in that 5%, but obviously not. That's how I figured out that it was deadly.
The family only had another 3 weeks together. Jeff died at home in May last year, just days after the couple's 21st wedding anniversary. He was one of around 10,800 people diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in the UK every year.
Over 80% of people are diagnosed too late for any kind of treatment, so the pancreatic cancer has already spread. So it's very fast.
But now there is hope that a simple breath test could revolutionise the early detection of pancreatic cancer. A clinical trial funded by Pancreatic Cancer UK will test around 6,000 patients across England, Scotland and Wales.
This test will mean that we will be able to get in early, diagnose people early, and they will be able to have potentially curative treatment in the long term.
Although the trial comes too late for Jeff, his family is supporting it in his memory.
It would have given him the chance to have at least treatment, if not a cure, but the treatment to prolong life, and he might still have been here today.
How important is it that other people may get the chance that Jeff didn't have to do a breath test?
It's so important because what's happened to us is so sad, but you don't want it to happen to other people, and you want other people to have that chance to make those memories and have that time with the person.
And those memories for Jeff's family have eased the pain of losing him.
I remember saying to him once, like, it was always too good to be true, the way we grew up, because we had a perfect family, perfect friends. He always used to say, don't think that. And then obviously this happened, but yeah, great memories with Dad. Yeah. I'm really grateful that I can look back and appreciate that I had a great dad, and that even though he wasn't here for long, it was still good while he was here.
If the trial is successful, the breath test could be rolled out in GP surgeries within 5 years, giving hope of a life-saving breakthrough in the treatment of the deadliest common cancer. Andrew Fletcher, ITV News in Skelmersdale.
And thanks so much to Izzy and Nicola for speaking to us. And you can find out more about that breath test and the work of Pancreatic Cancer UK on our website. Just head to itv.com/Granada.
OK, still to come on tonight's programme.
Well, listen now, then listen loud. Now you're the one that plugs me in.
We're introducing you to Bria, the singer from Cheshire, who's just an hour or so away from taking to one of Manchester's biggest stages.
And it's been wetter, windier and cloudier, courtesy of Storm Claudia. But what will the weekend's weather bring us? I'll tell you in just a bit.
I can tell you now it's going to be wet.
It's awful, awful.
Well, next tonight, the volunteers at a charity in Blackpool who have been honoured with the King's Award for voluntary service.
Yeah, a huge accolade, but there'll be no celebrations at counselling in the community because the organisation needs to find £25,000 in order to fund urgent repairs to their premises.
The charity, which is run by volunteers, helps up to 150 people each week with their mental health through counselling sessions.
But recent bad weather has wrecked their roof, and until repairs are made, there's no place for those sessions to be held. Tim Scott reports.
A wind and rain damaged roof that can't be fixed anytime soon. It means the counselling in the community building has been left a mess, with water damage from top to bottom.
It's only going to get worse, and the cost of repairing everything is going to go. Yeah.
Lee Tommelty is the chair of the charity's trustees. Seeing this building like this and the damage which has been done here, Lee, must be so disheartening for you and everyone who uses this place.
It is. There's hundreds of people that rely on this service every week, and we're just unable to provide that at the moment.
Counselling in the community provides much needed mental health support for people in crisis. Many are referred from their GPs. But now, because of the weather damage, the building is closed. Jessie Swarwell is a charity volunteer.
People that come to this hub are going to have to either go somewhere else, and if they can't go to somewhere else, say they're elderly or they can't afford the travel to get there, then their sessions are just having to be postponed. People are waiting to have their lives changed. They've heard our stories and they've heard how much it helps, and they're not getting that support.
All this comes as counselling in the community has just received the King's Award for voluntary service. It's a huge honour that's come in the middle of their building crisis.
So what we've had to do is bring everything from the wet side of the building into the one bit of dry roof that we've got.
Stuart Hutton-Brown is the charity's founder.
So today we've been given the King's Award for Voluntary Services, which is absolutely amazing for our charity. It's the equivalent of an MBE for an individual, and it's awarded to services that are run by volunteers, and it's the highest accolade that a UK charity can get.
And it's ironic, of course, this award comes at a time when the building's totally out of use.
The King's Award is the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's a really bright light, and we're keeping positive.
Counselling in the community have set up a GoFundMe page to raise the £20,000 or so they need for repairs. Meanwhile, many of their clients are going without the counselling they need. But it's hoped that the cash can be raised and the much-loved charity will soon be back in business. Tim Scott, ITV News, Blackpool.
Yeah, the very best of luck to them, and we are glad to say that counselling in the community aren't the only King's Award recipients in the North West.
Yeah, also among those honours today were the volunteers at Cheshire's Museum of Policing.
The Scouts group based at Manchester's British Muslim Heritage Centre was honoured too. Each week they organise activities for 150 children and young people.
And St Joseph's Players, they're based in Leigh and are reputed to be one of the oldest amateur dramatic societies in the world. The group was founded in around 1850, so it's high time they got the recognition they deserve.
Yeah, there really are too many groups to mention, but well done to all of those who volunteer in the North West. We are extremely lucky to have you.
Yeah, we really are. Well, next to a huge boost today for one of our region's oldest surviving cinemas, the Walton Picture House in Liverpool.
Yeah, this was built in 1927. The cinema's been closed since the pandemic, but now there's plans, thanks again to some dedicated volunteers, to reopen it in time for Christmas.
Well, let's head there now and join our correspondent Victoria Grimes. Vicky, big plans by the community there, and today they've been given a boost, haven't they?
They have indeed, Katie. It's a great news for them today. This is actually the oldest picture house in Liverpool. Just look at it. It's absolutely incredible. So many of the original features still exist, but it needs a lot of work to bring it back to life. So, as you say, a group of people started a campaign this year to bring it back for the community so they can enjoy it. And tell us about this boost today, Ian. What's happened?
Incredible news for us today. A local business, the Crampton Brothers, have been in touch and they've donated £100,000 to the campaign.
Wow, £100,000.
Absolutely staggering. Harry, the boss there, went on the website and he had a look, and he was choosing between donating 5,000 or going the full hit and donating 100,000, and he flipped a coin, and lucky for us, came down on heads.
He flipped a coin. Whoa, well done, Harry. And I hope you're going to get that coin and frame it up and stick it on the wall somewhere. Huge boost, but you need to raise a lot more though, don't you?
That's right. The target is 700,000. It's 450 to buy the cinema for the community. It's a community interest company, and the extra is to do it up.
Well, come and let's have a look and see, because I mean, there's quite a bit to do, isn't there?
There is. I mean, you can see the leak here. There's
right,
lots to be fixed.
Yeah,
you might
Hoods up for this bit.
Should
okay.
put Singing in the Rain on and see how we get on. But yeah, there's a lot of work to get done to bring it back to the way people remember it as a gorgeous old cinema.
So right, hoods off again. You're going to do the chairs up. They're all getting deep cleaned, right?
They are. That's another contact through Crampton Brothers. They've put us in touch with a guy who's going to do all of that, which is brilliant.
And some levelling off the floor here, because this is quite a slope down here, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember this when we were kids. We used to get little chocolate balls and roll them down the front so you can see them race off into the distance. And if you're sitting with your sister, you can set two up at once and see who wins.
I bet your mum was going mad. You two, she's
Yeah.
paid loads of money for you to come and watch the film, and you two were rolling your chocky sweets down the down the aisle. So you are going to level all this off, and that is to make it sort of a more sort of even space that you can hold events and stuff in.
Yeah,
right?
the plan is we're not going to level the whole thing, but just
Yeah.
from the front, we're going to take a section and level that out. That's the long-term plan,
Yeah.
so we can do different things here, like comedy and music, as well as films.
And what's happening at Christmas? Because that's the first big event, isn't it?
Well, everyone's got great memories of the Walton Picture House at Christmas time, so
Yeah.
we're putting on the 12 days of Christmas, from the 12th to the 24th. All of your favourite Christmas films on here. People can come and buy tickets, and that gives money to the fund to buy it for the community.
Are you going to show It's a Wonderful Life?
Of course we're going to show It's a Wonderful
I
Life.
hope so, because it wouldn't be Christmas without it, would it? I mean, and so you've got people coming in this weekend to start tidying up. Is that
We
right?
have. We've been bombarded by volunteers from the community. We've got about 60 people coming at the weekend to clean and pick the nails out the floor and make sure it's fit for customers to come in over Christmas.
So people can get ready to get those tickets and enjoy over Christmas. But Ian, I will say, I think you may need to work on that Christmas tree a little bit. Maybe.
Yeah, it needs a bit. It'll be fabulous when it's finished.
I hope so, because you need to sling a few deckies on that, mate. It's not, you can't leave it like that and get a few more branches in the middle, maybe. But I'm sure it'll look spectacular when it's all done. It's a bit nippy in here, so if you come into one of those events at Christmas, wear a coat. Back to you.
Great advice, Vicky. Many thanks indeed.
Oh, I've got great memories of Walton Picture House. I used to cartwheel down the aisles. Right.
When you were 15, 16.
When I was 25, come on.
Sport now and an eagerly awaited Manchester derby. Hi, Chris.
Never mind that. I want to see one of these cartwheels.
Too old now.
Can we sort this out for next week, please?
Back.
I want this. We've not got time tonight, but maybe next week. Yeah, they're expecting a big crowd at the Etihad Stadium for this one. Manchester City, top of the Women's Super League after 7 straight wins, taking on the old enemy United, who are currently third, and coming off the back of that Champions League win over PSG in midweek. David Chisnall has been hearing from players in both camps.
It's a football rivalry that's growing, just like the women's game. Once again, tens of thousands of fans are expected at the Etihad Stadium tomorrow for the latest Manchester derby as City host United in the Women's Super League. Well, City's former Barcelona defender Leila Wahabi has played in the so-called El Clasico against Real Madrid. So which rivalry does she think is bigger?
I mean, I think both, no? You know, I mean, all players want to win. It's like, who is the best team in Manchester, no? The red ones or the blue ones. In these games, for us as well, it's really important to win, because if we want to win the league, we have to win these games.
Well, a look at the table shows why there's even more riding on this derby. A run of 7 wins has moved City top, while United are just 4 points behind in third.
Where we both are in the table, the stakes are high, right, ultimately. And the stakes are high just because you have 2 teams that are in the city of Manchester. So to be able to go into their backyard and take away 3 points from that is going to be massive for us. We just have that family bond, and I think it translates to on the pitch, and I think that bleeds into our success. Hey, Gooners.
Olivia Smith became the first £1 million player in the women's game when she moved from Liverpool to Arsenal. While United can't pay those sums, they've adopted a different approach as they try to be competitive.
We haven't got £1 million to buy a player. But I think within the women's game and even in the men's, I think if you're intelligent with how you recruit, be precise with what you want to do, I think you can still do it. And actually making sure that your player salary bill is correct, making sure that you create an amazing training environment where they can grow and develop, giving them a platform where they can raise their profile. I think there's lots of other things other than just paying £1 million.
Well, United and City swapped lionesses in the summer, with Jess Park becoming a red and Grace Clinton heading in the opposite direction to become a blue. And the Scouts midfielder has formed quite the partnership with her seasoned Spanish teammate.
Yeah, I mean, we have a really good relationship with each other. When she came, always I had a really good connection with her. And I can't remember the day, but we was talking about, I don't know, and she said, yeah, you are my pepper. And I said, you are my salty, like salt and pepper, no? Because we are always together.
Well, as well as the derby delight, a first-of-its-kind Barclays fan zone will be open outside the Etihad for all on the day, not just those with tickets, as the women's game looks to use these big games to continue its growth. David Chisnall, ITV News, Manchester.
Yeah, it's going to be a great atmosphere at the Etihad. Well, staying with football, Manchester City's Nico O'Reilly put himself in the frame for a place at next year's World Cup last night. The 20-year-old made his full international debut at left-back and had a hand in the first goal as England beat Serbia 2-0 in their World Cup qualifier. City teammate Phil Foden set up their second for Eberechi Eze after missing the first 2 England camps of this season.
Oh, amazing to be back. Yeah, so happy to be back in the squad with these great players, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I thought I created some chances, lucky not to put a few away, but I think overall I have to be happy with the impact that I did today. So yeah, overall really happy.
Well, now on to golf, and Southport's Tommy Fleetwood is still in the hunt for another title. Today he shot 71, that's 1 under par in the second round of the World Tour Championship in the United Arab Emirates. That leaves him 8 under par overall and in 7th place with 2 rounds left.
Getting that winning feeling. FOW, sponsor of the Granada Sport Report.
Finally to darts, and Warrington's Luke Littler remains in contention to defend his Grand Slam title. He's through to the quarter-finals after seeing off Dutchman Wessel Nijman last night. Littler winning their second round match 10-4 to set up a clash with Josh Rock in the last 8. If he reaches the final, he becomes world #1, and you'd be brave to bet against him at the moment, or any moment, come to think of it. He's amazing, isn't he?
He's just unstoppable, isn't he?
He absolutely is. I mean, you just can't stop him because at the moment he is, his 3-dart average last night, I'm just looking, was 105, which is astonishing. And if he keeps going like that, he'll be world #1 by the weekend.
I'm sure he'll do it. Chris, thank you so much.
And finally tonight, when a singer from Cheshire was encouraged by her friends to turn her passion into a career, she never imagined she'd be sharing a stage in Manchester with one of her favourite bands.
Yeah, Better Joy from Macclesfield has already drawn comparisons with the legendary performer Blondie. And tonight she's opening for Bastile's gig at Manchester Arena.
She's just released her second EP, which is a little darker than her first, drawing on her musical influences, The Cure, The Smiths and the US singer-songwriter Billie Eilish. She's been talking to Elaine Wilcox at the city's Night and Day venue.
Well, listen now, listen loud. Now you're the one that plugs me in. I feel it now, I feel it loud. Now you're the one that plugs me in.
After a summer of headline gigs celebrating her second EP at dusk, life is good for Better Joy. Bria Keeley sold out her first Manchester show in days, moving venues at the last minute to the city's famous Night and Day stage.
I was like, we shouldn't do it, let's just keep the sellout. But I'm glad that we did, because you've got to push. The music's quite bright, but the lyrics are quite deep. Steamroller was a bit of an angrier one, a bit of a darker side. It's just about being underestimated and biting back.
And the video?
This kind of came to me in a dream. We filmed it in my sister's kitchen. My brother-in-law filmed it.
Friends encourage Bria to commit to music, and her success is a family affair. Her sister is a manager.
We're a musical family. It's always been important. I know, play instruments and sing in my family. I kind of started from a singer-songwriter background when I was 16. Went to uni, sang when I was drunk, and my friends were like, "You're quite good at this." And I was like, "Yeah, I quite like it too."
And you are blessed with an incredible voice.
Thank you.
And when you hear comparisons with Debbie Harry, Blondie?
Yeah, mad. I read somewhere that she was afraid of performing as well, and you would never get that from the way that she performs. So yeah, a massive inspiration.
And were you scared initially?
Yeah, but I hadn't really gigged before 2 years ago, and was just hoping that I enjoyed the performing, and I do.
I don't wanna sleep tonight. I just wanna try.
So if Debbie Harry's team were watching?
Love to write with you, please. Love to do a show with you, please. And just meet you. Be cool.
And what did you call her?
A badass.
On a long road.
On a day's writing course, she met the drummer from Bastille and is opening for the band at Manchester Arena. As her fan base grows, she's hoping every new like and share will take her to festival stages next summer.
I was like, oh! I just got to be present and not think about how many people are there.
So you want them to not only like your music, listen to your music,
Yeah.
but give you a follow too?
Would love that. Yeah, would love to grow and get bigger.
I feel it now, I feel it loud. Now you're the one that plugs me in.
What a talent. When I've had a few drinks, not one of my friends have ever said to me that I should take it up professionally. So,
I agree.
best of luck to Bria. And if you're going out to enjoy that show, it should be great. Here's the weather.
Mum, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hi there, good evening. It's been a rather wet and windy end to the week, all courtesy of Storm Claudia. It's meant that as we go into the weekend, it's going to continue to be a little bit unsettled, a bit wet at times. But then, as the weather changes, things get a lot chillier into next week. Now, Storm Claudia out across the Iberian Peninsula there, way away from us, named by the Spanish Met. That, though, has given us this front that's sort of trapped by the high. The high is acting as a bit of a force field, stopping that front going too far north, and that's why we've had a lot of wet weather. That is going to be staying in position as it peters out before we start to see that change to chillier conditions as a cold front drifts down through the back end of the weekend into next week. So expect some frost and much cooler temperatures. So this is where we are at the moment. We're going to continue to see this feed in from the east. Eventually the Pennines will help to keep the rain to the eastern side of it. So we'll eventually start to see things drying out a little bit, but remaining rather cloudy, courtesy of Claudia, through Saturday. Temperatures by the end of the night 5 or 6 Celsius, so a cool night. And then tomorrow, as I say, more of the same. Generally grey, outbreaks of rain as they sneak over the higher ground, and temperatures, well, not dissimilar from today, looking at highs of around 10, maybe 11 Celsius if you're lucky. Now, do expect a bit of murk under this grey cloud, and that's going to continue into Sunday too. So a rather cloudy day, temperatures starting to dip a little bit, and then as things brighten up through Monday and Tuesday, chillier nights, frosty nights, and much fresher days, well below average for the time of year.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
James, thank you. Do take care if you're out and about. It's pretty grim out there. That is all we've got time for on tonight's Granada Report.
Yeah, we're back with the late news afternoons at 10. Hope you can join us. Until then, whatever you're up to, have a lovely evening and a great weekend. Bye-bye.